It's Monday, August 29th.
The rain is picking up, and you can see these definitive bands now.
The day that will change life as we know it surprisingly starts with some good news.
Some positive, some improving news for us.
Katrina is losing a little steam.
The wind out of the northeast at 44 miles per hour sustained, but gusting to 56. And that's actually, the wind speed has dropped a little bit over the last hour.
And there's more. Katrina may be shifting too. But there's no sigh of relief. Instead, the whole region is now holding its breath, especially those on the Gulf Coast.
And they know this thing is going to come in, it's going to come in hard.
But first, she'll swipe the coast of Plaquemines Parish. It's about 3 a.m. Shrimper Kent Frelick videotapes Katrina's arrival from his boat.
The wind's blowing here, it's blowing the tin and metal around on that roof like it's just paper.
The wind blows at 125 miles an hour before becoming eerily calm. It's in the eye of the storm a fellow shrimper comes into focus. His boat had capsized, but he was still floating, covered in fuel, trapped in debris, but alive.
This has just come out from the National Weather Service. A flash flood warning for Orleans Parish. Stay right there, Chancellor. We'll come right back to you. This is a flash flood warning for Orleans Parish.
A flash flood warning for Orleans Parish.
What has happened is a levee breach has occurred along the Industrial Canal at Tennessee Street.
There are no pictures of the breach, and somehow the enormity of the update is lost. Our crew in New Orleans is focused on the storm currently pounding the Hyatt, where we had taken cover.
Right out here is Poitras, and you can see the wind just whipping down Poitras hard. These trees have just been getting battered all morning.
We would emerge unscathed, but the hotel would not.
We can see huge layers of the roof have just been peeled off.
Katrina creates a canopy of debris as she cuts through town, scalping the Superdome in the process. Water fills the streets. Melvin James wades through it, feeling safer in the open than he does in his home.
You were at your house? Yeah. Is this not too bad?
Yeah, the roof blew off.
Everybody okay?
Oh, they got some people hanging in there.
The power is knocked out everywhere, and so is communication. No phones, no radios, no way to share information except face-to-face. Our crews fan out to assess the damage, but they can't get to the worst of it because of water, downed trees and power lines, and one flat tire after another.
What you're looking at now is the Bridge House, which is near Britannia.
Wow.
And
Some of the first images we do see are of Uptown. The damage is bad, but nothing like what's to come.
The path of Hurricane Katrina came from St. Bernard Parish and made its way through Orleans Parish. We're here on St. Claude Avenue where water right now is inundating the city.
And right now we are reporting to you from one of the newsroom offices.
By the afternoon, we're back at our Rampart Street station. While our studio is down, the engineering team somehow gets a signal out of our assistant news director's office. Later, we'll return to our set as reporter Jonathan Betts returns from the lower 9th Ward.
All you see is water, pretty much, and the tops of roofs. And what you hear are people screaming for help.
The reality is worse than our collective imagination can concoct. Thousands of people trapped on rooftops and in attics, including the parents of one of our colleagues. But in the midst of despair, we see heroes. Not enough to go around, but their efforts are Herculean. Deprived of sleep, communication, and resources, first responders start a door-to-door search and rescue effort. Neighbors save neighbors.
And watch to the right of your screen.
Unbelievable.
Our colleague Chris Merrifield was shooting video of rising water when he wound up racing through it instead to help a trapped driver.
Anybody else that you know of?
On the West Bank, there is damage but little flooding.
From my standpoint, and our company's standpoint, again, the worst storm damage we've ever seen.
1.7 million people are without power across the region. Across the lake, we learned Slidell is underwater. The storm surge had chased this woman out of her house with only her cat in tow.
It started coming up really fast, and I almost didn't get out the door. I would have had to try to get in the attic. Didn't have a ladder, so I said I'll walk it out.
She is among the lucky. On the South Shore, far more lives hang in the balance.
Send a boat! A boat!
Rescuers cry that help is on the way, but so very many people need it. The images are chilling. A hand in a window, two men in an attic. The survivors' needs are as staggering as their endurance.
We got up this morning and we just went and rained, and all of a sudden the water just started rising.
As day dissolves into night, a couple shares their escape. Her words and his expression say it all.
We went to the door to check the water, check outside. We went back inside, and in a moment's time, we just said we're gonna walk to the door. The water was rising.
With no way to reach authorities, they come to us. An exhausted, dejected Mayor Nagin arrives at 10 p.m.
You know, my heart is heavy tonight. I don't have any good news to really share.
Instead, he provides perspective. As dire a situation as we had been reporting all day, we had no idea the scope. Our crews couldn't physically get to the hardest hit areas.
New Orleans is in a state of devastation. We probably have 80% of our city underwater. With some sections of our city, the water is as deep as 20 feet.
He runs down a list from hell. Bodies are floating in the water, he says. People are trapped on roofs. Gas lines are erupting, fires are breaking, the airports are flooded, the twin spans are gone. And somewhere in the litany,
we have a serious levee break at the 17th Street Canal.
The enormity of the levee breaches is almost too great to comprehend, but won't be for long. The city that is under siege will soon be underwater.